with Miriah, 49er faithfully, me, no crypto from No Border Sports, and Beto from 49er NinerSickness, who is not here at the moment, but maybe later. With that, oh, we don't have an intro, do we? I got an intro we could do, but it doesn't really matter. You want to hear some music? We can hear some music, but it's not that long. Yeah, let's just kick off the show. What we had you want to get into John Lynch and his talk first? I think that's probably the most pressing news, I think. What was the biggest thing that you got from John Lynch's press conference today? So put up the swan song.
Well, I mean, it was good to hear like what he had to say about Purdy, where he had said when they asked him about, oh, is it gonna, is the 6-month time frame or whatever they had asked him, and he said that the doctor even told John Lynch like he doesn't have a crystal ball.
Yeah.
And he talked about how, that it's a baseball injury, but this is different because when you're playing baseball and you get this injury, you don't have a 250-pound man, coming and snapping your arm back. So, it's a different thing. And that's what I kind of talked about earlier on Ryan Hensley's show, is that this is like uncharted territory pretty much, like, yeah, we can say, oh, it's 6 months, it's this, it's that. But really, the quarterbacks aren't used to dealing with this injury, so I think it's like one of those things that it really is, it's going to have to see once you get in there. So I think it kind of, remember when they first announced that he still had swelling and the reporters were like, but the time frame should still be the same, and we're like, how could that be? And yet even John Lynch would even say nothing about no 6 month, no, nothing. So that I thought that was pretty telling there.
It could be that he's not trying to be the one to put that out. You know what I mean? It could be I'll let somebody else who's not in the building do that for us. Did you also notice how he kind of hinted that Brock was the number 1 quarterback? So when they were asking about Trey, I'm sorry, I had a stream with Payo time before this, so I wasn't able to really splice it up and get it going. But John Lynch, I can't remember what he said to the fact, and I know where to find it. I just don't know what time it's at, so it'd take me some time to go through it. But he pretty much said Trey Lance needs time. He needs time, right? We all know that. But then I can't remember how he said it. Is like he made it seem that Trey needs time, but Brock is our guy. That's kind of what it sounded like, and I can't remember what words he used to get me to that. And to me,
well, I have word for word what he said here.
Okay, read it.
He had said, he said that's the challenge. He's got to play. We have a team that's ready to win now, and he's got to play. Brock got an opportunity to do that, and he grabbed it and did great things. We will see at some point how we get Trey that opportunity, because we very much believe in him as a person and as a quarterback.
Yep. See, that's what makes me think we will get him the opportunity, but it doesn't sound like the opportunity is right now. It sounds like Brock's got the opportunity right now, which is...
I mean, but that's impossible because Brock's hurt.
Yes, and...
No, he doesn't have the opportunity right now because Trey Lance is going to be their only non-injured quarterback. So whether Lynch wants that or not, he might want Brock Purdy to start, but Brock Purdy's injured. So,
and I can't remember where today, but somebody was talking about how when people get the UCL surgery, how they come stronger with a stronger arm. And they were saying it's not necessarily because of the surgery. They don't think it's because of the surgery. They think it's because of the rehab, because of the exercises that they do in the rehab is not exercises you normally do. So therefore, those exercises that strengthen that certain area are the ones that give everybody that increased strength, is what they think. So that seems to me like quarterbacks should just be doing those UCL rehabs to get their arm better, stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to go through the surgery. You just need to do the exercises.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? There was something else in there he was talking about too that kind of.
What he said about Jimmy, I thought was interesting. He had said,
Yeah.
well, they had asked him about Jimmy and about Tom Brady. So
Yes.
about Jimmy, he had said that, like, oh, he's been tremendous for us. I know people want to talk about the games we didn't win, but we won a lot of football games with Jimmy. He said we admire his toughness and the type of teammate he was. Nothing about his play, of course. And then he said everybody wants to talk about some discourse and kind of laughed. But he said it's probably run its course. He's going to go play good football somewhere else. And then with Tom Brady, he said that once he announced his retirement, that he texted him and said, congrats on a great career, yada, yada. He's like, I wished him the best, and we'll just leave it at that. So I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good that no one's going to throw false hope at, Tom Brady being the next quarterback here. I don't. It wasn't going to be a good look, especially if we didn't have the offensive line figured out, which we still don't yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's talk about re-signing Tabor Pepper. 49ers re-signed Tabor Pepper for 3 more years. Does this? I personally think this has to do with trying to lock down Robbie Gould. Do you think this has anything to do with Robbie Gould at all? Trying to get Tabor Pepper locked in, out of the way first?
I mean, I heard you say the other night your reasoning behind that, and I mean, it could be, that could make sense, but that thought didn't come to my mind when I first heard about him being signed.
Okay. No, there's nothing wrong with that. What are your thoughts about Robbie Gould coming back?
I would prefer to get younger at the position if we can draft somebody. That's what I would prefer. But I'm not going to be mad if they bring him back. I'm cool with it either way. But if I got to pick, like, we would draft somebody.
Gotcha. Got to say what's up to Jess from the East
Hey,
Coast.
Jess.
East Coast and Gold podcast.
Hey, chat. I see that Throwback was saying I was late, but no, it wasn't me. So
nope, she was totally on time.
On me.
It's process of elimination. If you can't tell who,
probably the late one isn't here yet. Still, he's probably still late.
We are a trio. We are a trio, not a duo. No, Beto is having issues with his lights, so Beto is trying to get that handled, and he will be here as soon as possible.
When you don't pay your power bill, you don't have lights.
Ooh, she clowning on you, Beto. You better get here, or you won't be able to defend yourself. So I got some questions here. Who do you want to bring in as a third string quarterback?
I mean, my answer is not going to change from any show that we go. I still think that it's all going to depend whether we need a second string, whether we need a second quarterback or a third quarterback, and we're not going to know that till we know what's going on with Purdy.
So
I think obviously if you're looking for the third string, we're looking for a guy that's not a Heineke, not somebody that can go be a second string quarterback somewhere else. Because why would they choose to go be the third quarterback somewhere? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. So
what I see is that we're going to need a second string / third string quarterback. For the beginning of the season, I have a feeling it's going to be Trey Lance and Brock Purdy's going to be out. I'm just banking on the worst right now, right? I think there may be a chance he comes through halfway. So I'm thinking we need a second string quarterback until Brock Purdy can get back at least and take over second or first or whatever. You know what I mean? And then at that time, that person would become 3, maybe. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking with that scenario, like we need to draft one also, but I think we need to pick up like a QB2.
I still don't
You know,
think that one of those guys that can be a legit QB2 somewhere isn't going to come somewhere where the taxes are higher. They're going to be a QB2 for 2, 3, 4 weeks and then go back to a QB3. Like that just doesn't make sense. Like everybody's thrown out, like specifically Heineke that started games this season. He's going to get a QB2 spot making good money somewhere. Like, why would you, like, that's like pretty much saying, okay, that's like the job for guys that like their career is no longer like Matt Ryan. That's the type of guys that take QB3 jobs, ones that can't be QB2s somewhere.
but
Like, you're not going to have guys banging down the door to come back up to young kids when in hopes that they get to play. Like, that don't make sense.
but I also see that chance it's somebody first or second, third, fourth string, doesn't matter, they would get a chance to play here. And the moment you get a chance to be the center for the 49ers at this moment, you've got a whole bunch of eyes on you, talent to play with. There could even be a starting position to be had.
So
really
you're going to
depending.
turn down the second quarterback somewhere else to come be the third quarterback in hopes that you
Well,
might get a chance to play because this team gets injured? Like
I said with my scenario, like I feel that they would be coming here as the second string, and
yeah,
then
but only for 2 or 3 games, right?
not
Till Brock's
necessarily.
ready.
No, I don't think Brock's coming back to like halfway through the season if he comes back this season. I don't I don't I don't expect the best out of this. I haven't since that he got injured. It just doesn't seem that he's coming back in that time frame. I think it's fool's gold to think it is because of how injured he was afterwards. Like he could barely throw that ball. And then how that's been pushed back. You're talking about putting a brace on something that was um, destroyed by a 250-pound man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it was somebody's arm motion going through that. No, it was smacked.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems to me that there could be more wrong than what could be on the surface here. And so I'm essentially planning for Brock not to play this year. And that's how I think you have to look at it, or else you're not ready. You're not ready when the time comes and the news changes and you find out Brock's not going to be here. So that's why I think it's good. I also want somebody who can compete. Like I don't necessarily want someone to come in and just be like, "Hey, you're number 2 quarterback." That's all you can ever be here. I want somebody. Look, Trey Lance, you need to win the spot. You need to show us that I love Trey Lance, but he needs to win the spot. He needs to show the rest of the team that spot's his. He needs to prove it to himself that he could do it. I think there's so much that needs to be done in that aspect that bringing in somebody with talent to push him, to make him better, to make him have to draw the line of sand and take this team rightfully for himself through hard work. I think that's the best way. I think that's how you get the George Kittles and the used checks to really coalesce around Trey and be like, okay, you're our captain.
I don't think you're finding somebody at that price point that they're going to be spending on a backup quarterback that's going to be coming in to compete. I think you're hoping that we're going to get somebody way better than what we're really going to be looking for.
No,
like
I'm
I
not
agree
like
with Jess, like Sudfield. Like that's who I can see coming in.
who?
Sudfield, the guy that was here before.
Oh, I'm thinking more of like a Jacoby Brissett or
Yeah,
maybe
a
even a
guy that's going to
Mariota.
get backup quarterback some money somewhere.
Yeah, and you could get backup quarterback
Not a
money
guy
here
that's going
too.
to make $3 million to play for San Francisco.
You could give him 8 to 10.
When you're already paying how much ever to the quarterback room?
Quarterback room. You've got Trey is how much and Brock Purdy is how much? I think they're both under 10 mil if you put them together.
No, it's a
So
little over 10.
it is? I thought
Yeah.
Brock was like 250 in. Okay, yeah. So it's probably like 1.1, 1.15.
And
Does he think
Lance is on
Brock?
a third pick of the draft, guaranteed
Yeah,
contract.
I think he's at like around 9 mil or something like that.
Okay,
or
but
just under
regardless,
9
so
mil.
we're going to be paying our quarterback room $25 million and pay Bosa and pay everybody else at an O-line. Like, I just don't think like they're going to be spending that much money on the third string quarterback.
Okay.
Because I think we have too many needs to put that kind of money and stuff into that kind of quarterback.
You would think. I just it's Kyle and the quarterback position. That's the only thing that I'm like thinking about. And that, he's got to like have his little safety blankets. Like everybody's like, hell no, Matt Ryan, hell no, Matt Ryan. Guess who's not thinking hell no, Matt Ryan? Kyle, because he knows the system. You know what I mean? Like
and he's gonna make a little bit of money. You're thinking we're gonna get somebody way better than Matt Ryan. So
look, I'm not talking about this or that. I'm just saying, like, when it comes down to how we think and how Kyle thinks, it's I was talking to Peo and he's like, well, what do you think the Niners are going to go for in their first three things? I was like, draft needs, bro. I don't know. I can't tell you. It was like every year he drafts a running back when he gets all his good ones undrafted. And he seems to need to throw it, like it does. You think he's going to zig and he zags just to let you know that he's in charge. You know what I mean? Like you cannot tell with him. That's why this is one of the worst years, I think, for quarterback controversies, because it's like you're going to need more quarterbacks one way or another. We are going to need at least 2 more quarterbacks because just for training, because Trey can't throw all those balls by himself. You know what I mean? You're going to need at least 2, maybe even a third other quarterback, because Purdy won't be here for training camp. Supposedly, if the soonest he'll be cleared is September 8th. The season starts around the 9th. You know what I mean? You're talking about a couple of difference of days. So that's not going to be the guy there. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see. Like, they went with Sudfeld, but they also decided to bring back Johnson over Sudfeld.
Because Sudfeld had already got another job.
Oh, had he? Was he still on
the backup somewhere?
Was he still on a team by the time?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
Oh.
He got a backup job somewhere when he left us. He wasn't just sitting on the bum couch like Johnson was.
And we got people calling for Stetson Bennett, Damian Lee. Let's see. Where do you think James Garoppolo lands, and for how much?
I could see him coming to Vegas. I mean, once we find out what Aaron Rodgers is doing, I think if he stays in Green Bay, I could see Carr going to the Jets and Jimmy coming to Vegas, which I'll really hate because then I have to see his face plastered all over my city. But
oh yeah,
if Aaron Rodgers doesn't stay in Green Bay, he'll obviously take one of those jobs. So I don't know. Maybe the Texans. I don't know. What do you think?
I could see Jimmy going to the Texans for like a 2-year stint. They're going to draft a quarterback. They'll sit him behind Jimmy. They'll let Jimmy run the offense for a little bit, and then they'll let him work on their new guy on the second string defense until either they think he's better than Jimmy or Jimmy gets hurt, and then they'll just bring the quarterback, and there we go. He'll also be cheaper. Probably not as cheap as he was this year, but he's not your $26 million quarterback anymore. So I think it's a smart move for a new team to get somebody like Jimmy Garoppolo on the team. It's almost free. All else fails is you have to put in the quarterback you drafted this year and get them experience. That's like the either he gets hurt or he gets benched, which I don't think he's going to get benched because I think he'll probably be one of the shining lights on a team that he goes to because they probably won't be the best. And on the team like the Niners, James doesn't look like a shiny anything because there's so much other talent around him. Like, remember everybody was talking about Christian McCaffrey. Remember that pass he made in the end zone? I can't remember which team, but he had to jump up and get it, and it was all over. It was a off-schedule play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody's talking about that catch. Why are they talking about that catch? Because Jimmy almost overthrew him. You know what I'm saying? He was wide open in the end zone. Jimmy almost still overthrew him. So, he's not the shining light on the 49ers, but he could be the shining light on the Houston Texans offense. I can tell you what. Yeah. Sorry, we're behind on the chat. I don't know what Kai will never do again, but Lions. Let's see.
Yeah, his audio is always clicking.
Oh, Bryant?
No, Ted's saying that your audio is clicking.
Oh God, I know, Ted. This is probably the last time we use Restream for this show. Wish they'd get their act together. It'd be so handy to use this actual platform more. The FNFBI want a center or right tackle, $7 million, gentlemen, and we still have no all-out line. Yeah, that's why they're in all that cap room. What is the chink that Mike McGlinchey ends up back on this team? That some of the cap that they're trying to open up, cap space they're opening up, is to keep Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah, we talked about this morning, and I think we had both put it at 50%. Yeah. And trust me, I want to say 5%, but I just think I don't know, you never heard Kyle say a bad thing about Mike. It seems like they Lynch. Really like him around there. Yeah. So I could definitely see, they want to take care of their own, and Mike's been their guy, and they drafted him, and yada yada yada. So I could definitely see it, but man, this fan base will lose their shit for sure.
I saw Sunil from So Real Sports Talk post that. He said, I just want everybody to be understanding that they might actually be making room for Mike McGlinchey right now. Like get ready to clutch your pearls, folks. And I was like, facts, bro. And I've had to bring that up because and give him credit because it's totally true. Because I hadn't fully thought about it, but once he said it, I was like, I kind of been feeling like this is the move because it's, why do they have to make all this move right now? The reason being is you want to make moves on other people's free agents and all that, but you also want to keep the guys you got in house, before the deadline goes. So, and I think there's people going to want to make a move at Mike McGlinchey, and I have a feeling he knows that he sucks at pass blocking. And he might want to stay here because they appreciate him. And, even though the fans might get after him, if they like him in the building, at least he doesn't have to go into work and feel like a piece of crap because they all know who he is. You know what I mean? At least here they think he's. Yeah, you know what I mean? So he might even take a hometown deal just to not, be known as the piece of crap that he is. Oh, thank you, Ted. Appreciate you. Ted might know some of these questions actually from his show. We did talk that one. I really want to know what you thought about this. I've been asking people about this one. Asked Peo Time about this. The rugby scrum. What's your thought? Should they outlaw this thing?
I really don't have no thoughts on it, honestly.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, it's not something I have even put 1 second of thought into, so I'm not just gonna pull something out of my ass.
Why not?
Because that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie about something that I could care less about, that I have no clue about, that nothing about.
Well, so the big issue with it is that it seems like it's almost a cheat code. It seems like any 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1, anything with 1 yard to go, you're going to get it if you get in this formation. And I think that's why Ted was bringing that up, is because should there be a formation like that? Should there be a play like that that's an automatic cheat code, especially when you're talking about like that short down distance, which can really change the course of a game? But, okay.
I mean, why do you think they should?
I think it's gonna work itself out. You're talking about, you got all the best coaches at football in the NFL, and their job is to figure out how to defeat it. Yes, at some point it's going to get defeated. There's going to be a way around it. It's been defeated a couple times already. It's just you got to get low pads, and your D line has to get lower than the offensive line, and the linebackers have to get over the top and hold the quarterback back. But the one thing I really see is that if you ever look, it seems like everybody is in the stinking neutral zone. Offensive line, defensive line, when they're about to do this, it seems like everybody's in the neutral zone. And I think the refs need to start calling that. You know what I mean? Like, if you got to double offset the penalties, keep the ball in the same place and start all over, you know what I mean? And then once there's somebody who isn't in the neutral zone and the other guys, and then you can flag them and go back. But it seems to me like I think the refs need to actually make sure that they're not in the neutral zone for this first and foremost. But I think I think defenses are going to figure it out. Plus, there's so much you can do on the back end of that, because you've got like 3 running backs just sitting behind there. You could just toss it out while everybody jumps forward, toss it out, and then have somebody running for a touchdown around the corner. So I think it's actually going to bring another level and a little bit more of a more of a chess move type thing to things.
Well, and that's how everything in football is supposed to be. Like, what, we're mad at them because they came up with this before anybody else. Like, Kyle came up with all this motion, all this other shit, that he does before anybody else did. And it worked so well because nobody else had done it yet. Like, the same shit. That's what football is. Like, so that's why I don't really have not put too much thought into it, because it's like, that's the whole point of football, coming up with a way to, have an advantage over the other team before they can, stop it. It's like, that's football. So it's like, if they're not doing anything that's against the rules in football, like, I don't see, it's like no big deal with it.
Yeah. I think it's more because it seems like it dominated everything this year. And there's times where like formations, or like, remember when the read option came in? You know what I mean? Like, people were having trouble with that. Like, look at Mahomes. People were having trouble understanding how to defeat Mahomes, and then all of a sudden they can put him in a box. You know what I mean? If you can get the right protections, you can put him in a box. Like, there's ways to figure out things.
Yeah.
And
hey, Dina. Hey, Beto.
Do you see what Beto said? Ryan and Miriah scream. Yeah, we like threesomes.
Don't limit us, Beto. Shit.
Yeah, Beto. We needed some more earth up in here. I said that, and I looked down, I saw you drinking, and I was like, oh no. Like, I didn't know if you were gonna lose it or not. So what are your thoughts on free agency? What are we doing here? Where we got who we going after right now? We're making all this money. Besides McGlinchey, maybe. is there a defensive tackle in your mind? You're big on safety. That's right, big on safety. Who's your safety?
I mean, first thing, like I'd rather keep Gibson than anybody. So if he doesn't retire, definitely I'd make him a priority to bring him back.
Do we want to talk about
Um,
what John Lynch said about what he said today?
did he talk about Gibson?
Yeah, he said that Gibson did talk about retiring for the first month, but he said he wanted to come back, and they're talking with him. So that doesn't mean that he's coming back to our team. It was said like he wants to come back and play football, but it seems like he's definitely like got channels open with the 49ers. Like, yeah, I'll come back there. I don't
Well,
know why
because
you
before
wouldn't.
that, I mean, what Gibson had said was either he was retiring or coming back to be a 49er. Like he didn't want to go play somewhere else. He wanted to play with Huff. So
That's how I would be too, especially like once you get all those guys and dude, last year they were all like working like they were all part of the same membrane. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and when you're a part of a unit like that, it's hard to just say, "Nah, I want to go try something different somewhere else." No, you want
Hmm.
to get back to that greatness because it feels good when everything's working right, when everything's flowing right. I remember when I was in the restaurant and like, you've got it slammed, it's dinner rush, all that good stuff, and like if you're not out of any of the food on the bar, I used to work at a Golden Corral. So if you're not we're out of any food on the bar, you got backups. Everybody in the back is singing and dancing. I mean, you're like, yeah, we got this. You know what I mean? You feel like, everything's going great. You feel like a rock star. And then, and then there's the times where it isn't and it doesn't work and you just want to be somewhere else. And Gibson has got, doesn't have many years left. He was thinking about
Yeah.
retiring. He doesn't want to end up in a situation where he wants to be somewhere else. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So he knows what he's got here. If he's coming back, I can see why he'd want to come back with us.
Yeah. So I definitely would rather him. Like I think him and Huff worked great together. Like you said, they were just clicking. Like they knew, like they were like sharing the same brain. Like it was awesome to see, especially because at the start of the season, that wasn't who was supposed to be playing next to Huff. So for Huff to go from people were questioning, like, is he going to be able to handle it? Is he going to be able to be the full time starter? And then for him to come in, step up, and actually be the guy, and Jimmy go down, and Gibson just fit in like flawlessly. Like probably even better. I hate to say that, but better than what Jimmy was fitting in there. So definitely, I would like to keep that. But
He
if go
he
ahead,
gave us a different look. Like
yeah.
those interceptions, they helped a lot more than Jimmy's blanket coverage that he
Hmm.
brings to the table. You know what I mean? It really turned the tides.
Yeah, but like I have no specific, safety to go after him, just I just think that if we don't bring him back, of course I'd like to draft somebody young, but I think that we need a vet in there to at least groom the young guy as well. So I would like to put a vet in there, especially that
Somebody
then that'll give
somebody
Huff another year to get older and more into the system and all that. So
somebody got today too. I can't remember who, but somebody, I think they're actually all right, got released today. So I
hmm,
don't know if the Niners will be checking in on him, but it sounds like if Gibson says he's coming back, he wanted to either come back for the Niners or retire, then it seems like we're set there. I think we just need to make sure we draft at this point. If
yeah,
he's going to come back for the season, then him and Huff will put him back there. We also got what's his name, Quantrez Knight. A lot of people are
yeah,
saying Quantrez Knight is vying for a safety position. Last time I heard, he was a nickel, but I'm not saying anybody's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I don't know. Um, yeah, but still, I think it's prudent to. I think it would be prudent to draft again for safety.
I agree. Trying to see if I can find who was released.
I can't remember what team it was too. Um,
Um,
what was
John Johnson from the Browns.
Yes.
Browns plan to release John Johnson III on March 15th to save
March 15th.
almost $10 million unless they find a trade partner.
Which probably won't happen because they've already announced that they're going to release him. So,
and then they said hard to bring back a safety with a big price tag that missed 17 tackles last year.
yeah, no. But who knows? I didn't see all those tackles. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Jimmy with his interceptions. Like, some of those interceptions weren't on him, but a lot of them were. You know what I mean? Like that's why I think interceptions should be split up between quarterback and wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, if it's blatantly on the quarterback, then it's on the quarterback. If it's blatantly on the receiver, it's on the receiver. If it's a tie, it goes to the quarterback because he's the one that chose to release the ball. You know what I'm saying? I think that's how it should be. And we should, you know, be a little bit more accurate with the stats, because I think it's better to when you're looking at quarterbacks and this and that and wide receivers. Like, look at all these, like, who was it? I can't think of it right now, but if you've got somebody who is who's causing a lot of interceptions as a wide receiver for tipping balls up, you don't see that on the stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might think he's a great receiver because he's got 1,000 yards, but you know, he's got 3 interceptions at crucial moments that he tipped up and let the other team have. It causes the people to lose a game. You know, that's the type of stuff, like, there needs to be some stats. Oh, looks like
hey, Bill.
Oh. He says, "What's up, Miriah?" Oh, he's in love with you. I think does he know he's barking up the wrong tree?
I'm sure his girlfriend that's in his profile picture with him too knows.
At my old job, I had this guy used to come in and he'd always talk to my boss, and you know, her name's Edna. She's got a wife, right? And I was like, what are you doing in here? He's like, oh man, I'm just sitting here, you know, shooting my shot at Edna, even though it'll never work. And I go, what are you doing, dude? Like, it's like, bro, you're totally not her type. You know what I mean? She Edna wears the man pants. You know what I'm saying? She got the work pants on. You know what I mean? She's not looking for you. She's looking for a femme. You know what I mean? Oh, there was funny. One time I was off topic. I was going in to install a dishwasher, and I see this. You know, there's a couple of ladies. You know, they're a couple, and there's this plate on the wall, and it's got these words, and I know some of them. You know what I mean? But some of the words, one word, I'm like, I have to ask. I go, what's a hard femme? And then they explain to me, oh, that's a you know, a lady who dresses like, you know, like a pinup, like a, you know, a hot lady, but she's the man in the relationship. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? But before I was like, I couldn't, like, all the other names I knew, but I didn't know that there was that was kind of fun to know. It's like when I found out there was a bear, like what a bear is. Oh man. That's funny talk. Let's get back on topic. Let's see. What do you want to talk about?
Well, why don't you tell us about your free agent wants?
Who? David Amamata. He shouldn't be that expensive. He's a 3 tech. He's very good at doing stunts. He gets penetration. He gets sacks. He gets tackles. He's quick on it. I think he'll be a better Javon Kinlaw. But I don't think we need a 3 technique. We need a 1 technique. So, Shy Tuttle. It's really cheap. He's not very fast. He's slow. Watched a lot of Saints games, but one thing I noticed, well, not Saints games, but the Saints highlights, the highlight reels. And one thing I found is Shy Tuttle is never on the field when anybody breaks a big running play. And if he is, he takes himself out of the play by going on the other, by crossing the nose at the center and taking himself out of the play. So it seems to me like And also one thing I was noticing, and it seemed like some teams were waiting for him not to be on the field, like his rotation, and then run, and then the moment he gets back out there, they're passing again because he's not fast, but commands a double team. In fact, when they played the Eagles, Shy Tuttle is probably one of the people who stopped their rugby scrum for first down. That's one of the people that I saw stop it. He's a solid dude. He's solid. But yeah, Shy Tuttle. I think we need a big dude, and we need more than one. Shy Tuttle's probably the biggest, slowest guy we should get. I don't think we should go any fatter and slower, but when it comes down to it, we need a couple guys like that, and because we're getting pushed around. And so I think it's a lot better. You don't have to worry about keeping Javon Kinlaw around if you're paying, I think, like $2.5 million for a Shy Tuttle who doesn't get moved. You know what I mean? Like Kelsey, not Travis Kelsey, but his brother, what's his name? The center. He was having to double team him all the time. And one-on-one, he was manhandling him. He was pushing him back into, Jason. He was pushing Jason back into Minshew at the time. So like he can push people back, and that's why he gets double teamed on pass plays. But I don't think he's like one of those rundown guys. You know what I mean? First, second down, you'd have him on the field, and then you go to more of a Corvette. But if anybody's passing on first and second down, they're gonna have to deal with that big, huge rock in the middle. So it's kind of want him. Yeah. That's who I've been looking at is interior tackles. The right tackles, we need one. I have a feeling we're getting McGlinchey back. And if not, we're settling for McKivitz or somebody else who's on this team. And that's why I think McGlinchey's coming back, because I don't think Kyle is going to settle for anybody else. And it seems like all he's wanted to do the last couple years is draft guards. And now McGlinchey's time is coming, and we don't have a single tackle that I think can really replace it.
In a perfect world, we would move up in the draft and get a tackle, to me.
Yeah. One thing I have seen is I've been doing mock drafts. You ever do mock drafts?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing mock drafts, and it seems like there is some talent at tackle in the draft, and you can get somebody in the mock drafts. You can get somebody in the middle of the second, even, or late second. The problem is we're late third, so we'd be having to give up, I'm guessing capital from next year to move up. So which is fine. To me is fine. It's just we have to hit. We can't mess up on this. We have to hit, and they have to start. Which something that doesn't really happen in Kyle's system. You know what I mean? That's why I said Matt Ryan, because he knows the system. I'm telling you, don't think that we are out of the woods yet until Matt Ryan retires or gets signed to another team. There is always a threat that he could come here.
Hey, John V.
Oh, we got John V in the house. So, anything else you wanted to talk about?
Not really. I'm trying to think what else was going on. Oh, they did. They tendered Juwan Jennings, so he will.
Oh,
be
yes,
back
they tendered
49ers. Yep. So that's good.
Well,
we knew that was going to happen, of course, but
now they tendered him. That doesn't necessarily mean that he'll be back. Somebody can.
Well, but somebody can. They're have to pay him over what we are.
That's they'd have to pay over what we are, which is not going to happen. I just wanted to clarify that, because who knows? I don't think anybody's going to do that for Juwan, though. Jaguars, maybe. Jaguars.
We've had tendered way better, like more dominant players before. Nobody's ever taken any of them. So I don't think that's going to happen now.
Yeah, it's not. It's even throughout the not a normal thing is people taking people's tenders.
Right.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, I saw that the Bucks are probably gonna cut playoff Lenny.
Yeah.
Old ass Lenny. They should.
Well,
his legs were like barely even working through this last stretch of the games at the end of the season. Shit.
I just feel we're probably putting it off for a year with this tendering. Because we're gonna have to pay Brandon Ayuk next year, and there's no way you're paying Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings at the same time. That's another reason why I think they are going wide receiver in the draft this year, because it's like you bring somebody in, you sit them a year, and then you use them the next year. So essentially, this year's Danny Gray's year. Okay, this year's Danny Gray's year. They're going to draft somebody, I think, this year, wide receiver, to then take Juwan Jennings' spot next year, because they're going to have to let him go unless he's going to take a hometown deal, which I don't think is going to happen in the state of California, where you're going to lose. You're paying federal and state.
Yeah.
If only they'd let you pay taxes in the state that you lived in. You know what I mean? Like, and these
that would
guys
help the 49ers a lot.
Yeah. Or maybe only give these guys like the state tax, or like tax them at that rate if they make over a certain, just for like athletes or something, like you get over 20 mil, okay, you can get taxed. But other than that, you other guys,
that way if they're just signing a 1-year deal, like a guy can't even like sign a 1-year prove it deal with us, because by the time it costs them, it's so much to rent an apartment or whatever for them to stay there during the season. Then the taxes take all the rest of their freaking money. It's like, it's not even worth it.
Well, it's like playing the international games. I think it's like some baseball players, they actually have to pay money to play the game. Like the taxes cost more than what they get paid playing in the game that they played in there.
Hey, Peachy.
Oh, we got Peachy in the building. What up, Peachy? On Twitter the other day.
Yeah, John V said you will take $8 million on the East Coast, but turn down $9 million in San Francisco.
Yeah, right. Because it's actually 4.5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, it's probably like 5.5, something like that. Maybe 6. But yeah,
1 after you pay rent and food and gas and everything else to live there.
Did you see the report that it was cheaper to live in Las Vegas and fly to work in San Francisco each day and fly back?
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? That's so not cool. That's so not cool. Oh, Eric up in the spot. Oh,
hey Eric.
Holy moly. I guess you didn't see this coming. We're about ready to hang it up for the evening, and Beto rolls through. Hello, sir. How's it going?
Just the birds.
No mama's way? What up, Eric?
The birds have joined the stream.
Hey.
What's up, guys? Finally got the son of a biscuit to work. You know what it was? All I had to do was reset my all I had to do is reset my router, and I would have been fine. I had to reset my router because I was running on 5G, and my Elgato lights can only work on 2G, and that's why it wasn't recognizing my lights, and it's pissing me off. But even if it's for 2 minutes, I just wanted to still step in.
Well, it's good to see you.
Likewise.
Give us your thoughts real quick. Let's get this going. Tell us what your thoughts, all the news this week.
pretty much everything's the same, and nothing really has changed other than Joanne Jennings getting tendered and possibly definitely playing one more year for us. I don't think he's going anywhere. He likes it here, so that's about the only thing that certain things that John Lynch spoke at the combine, but it's pretty much repeated his things, the Brock, the Trey, and it's like the same jumbo.
Yep. Did you barbecue
right.
today?
No, it's pouring over here.
Oh, that's what I told Ryan. I didn't know how the weather was, so.
No, it's pouring freaking ducks and cats over here.
Not ducks and cats.
So that they canceled the tournament earlier today. Yeah.
Okay.
God knows I would have torn the house apart and punched myself in the face. Oh wow! If you couldn't get the
What's up,
lights
John
going,
V? Pina Harvey. Although it's clear behind me, as you can see, but not the real behind me.
yeah, yeah. It's like you got that Cliff Kingsbury, edition. Like you sitting in the Airbnb house, like
Yeah.
looking all fancy.
Well, that's the only one that it offered. It didn't give me oops. It didn't allow me to upload any of my own.
Oh, real stock restream background, huh?
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
There we go. John V says, yes, Ryan, I'm extra. Love it, John. Love it. Hey, as long as it's, what I mean? Like, mine, what I mean? It's time to start with my shit, and we gonna have issues. I don't like paying for my shit twice.
Man, you're breaking up bad there, your audio, bro.
Thanks, Ted.
Who's
that's
Ted?
That's all restream for you.
That's the restream.
Who's Ted?
Ted H.
Ted Talks Ball.
Ted Talks Ball. He said that earlier.
Oh, Ted.
And ever since then, I'm making jokes about it. So then when you said about it, I had to make another joke.
Got you.
Yeah. So where we go? What we gonna? Anybody got anything else to say? We wrapping this thing up? We going long? What's the deal? What you thinking?
I just came on for a few minutes. I know you guys have already been on here for an hour, man. No need to be longer than you need to be. Last week was 2 hours. We don't want to put that to our viewers. They'll stop viewing.
Especially with me breaking up.
Yeah. We can go longer when we're not using Restream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, who wants to host the show next week?
I can.
Miriah? Miriah's channel? Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, next week, Tuesday, 6 o'clock, tune into Miriah's channel. Chat is in the description.
I mean, I can still send you. You can still add yourself on StreamYard. It's not like you guys can't add your channel on StreamYard.
But don't we have to okay. Well, whatever's clever.
It's just like StreamYard, just like Restream.
Yeah. Still send you the stuff the same way.
All you gotta do is send the email, and just like you do to Restream, you can do it with StreamYard.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
When they start doing that,
I don't know why
that was a thing.
It's always done
like that.
Huh.
As long as I've ever had it.
I thought Restream was the only one that did it. I was like, let's do this. Also asked what's his name? LaFrancois. He's got a content creator type channel. He's got a Discord. Shout out anybody who needs some issues or has issues, this and that. You want to go there. I swear they told me Restream was the only one that could do that. But that was like,
no, I think you have to get the 1080 on Restream to do it though, not the 720.
Yeah, but
I'm not mistaken.
All right.
Which is like $60.
But anyways, look for us. We'll either be on my channel or on all three channels.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty
And-
much.
I think they care to hear us discuss.
No
All right,
shit.
Beto, you want to send us out?
Thank you for watching. Good night, and see you next week.